All right, we hope that you're excited about your tour of the STEP system. Now, I've been having a lot of fun coloring lately.
She has been a drawing machine the last 24 hours.
But here's the thing. I think that when you put something in pictures, it makes it more fun, and I think it makes it seem more doable. That's the hope. So we're going to walk through the system and show you exactly how it's going to all work as you're getting ready to collect your materials and you'll be all set to build your Command Central. We're just going to show you the big picture right now so you understand how things are going to work from this point forward. Now on the left here, you're going to see stuff, okay? So these are all of the things that are coming to you during the day. They are often overwhelming, and just one at a time, they don't seem like a big deal, but when they all come together, it might feel a little frustrating. So.
The way I would have actually drawn this diagram, April said, no, it's too complex and overwhelming. But think about all these things on top of you, just sitting on your shoulders, weighing on you, just kind of coming down from the top. And what I would actually say is what we're going to show you in this system is how all these things that are labeled stuff actually go to the bottom. Maybe they're like underground. And then we're going to show you how to create a couple landing spots where once a day, it's almost like a daily spring. All the stuff you just kind of gather and collect together and look at and just sort through quickly. So it's not on your shoulders, it's not on your mind, and it's not weighing you down. So watch how April magically makes all this stuff in the left-hand column just filter right into this landing spot in a very simple daily approach.
Okay, well, this is the beauty of the system is that all the things that typically can overwhelm us, things like mail, text messages, social media messages, things that might be in our bag or our kids' backpacks, little post-it notes everywhere, phone calls, all these things that are coming in that we're dealing with on a regular basis. Sometimes we don't know exactly where to put them. We just feel like we're putting out fires all day. This system will actually show you how to handle them in a way that works really well. So you'll notice here at the bottom we have this landing
Quick question
spots.
before we go into landing spots.
Yes.
Why do post-it notes never say call dad?
I know. I was going to put call dad, but I realized
nobody
usually
calls
people
dad.
call their mom.
I don't understand.
Okay, so let's talk about the 3 categories that are explained over here. We have first the engage daily. So these are the things that are generally going to be checked, looked at, engaged with every single day, okay? Then we have things you'll engage in weekly. So these are things that are just going to be basically with your weekly review. So we'll talk more about that. And then here on the right, we'll have the things that we will engage with as needed. These are things that don't need to be on your mind. We don't need to be thinking about them, but they're going to be supporting the work that we're doing. Does that sound good?
Sounds great.
Okay, so let's just start over here with engage daily. First of all, we're going to look at our calendar every day. And I think this is kind of a given. See what your appointments are. Second, we're going to be looking at our context-based next actions list. So that's simply the home, phone, errands, computer discussion, the basic things that need to be done sometime that week, typically. Okay, so that's our context-based next actions list. Now, one thing I will say is you may have tasks that will be on your calendar, but that aren't time specific. Like I have to return library books sometime today. It's not really an appointment, but it's a calendar specific task. So I'm including those types of tasks with calendar. Okay. And then the context-based next actions list generally can be done anytime that week. If there is a specific deadline attached to one of these, it's on the calendar as well. Then we'll be keeping our email inbox at 0. We'll be working from those email folders that we've built, keeping our email inbox clean. And then every day we're going to be checking our landing spots. So as people are giving us papers, as we're getting messages, as we're getting texts and phone calls, we'll have some specific times during the day. We'll get in some good habits where we'll just be checking landing spots, making sure that we're keeping up with things that are coming into us. All right, does that sound manageable on a daily basis? Okay, now we're going to go over here and look at the things that we're going to engage in weekly. Now, we've talked about the importance of setting an hour a week to do a weekly review. Now, Eric, do you do yours all in one session? Do you typically do a few things, every other day? Or how do you kind of keep track of the things that you need to look at weekly?
I will kind of do a weekly review on a specific day right before we do one as a couple. Mm-hmm. And that might be a half an hour right there. But then on my inbox, I don't sit down and process it all the way down to 0 one specific time during the week. I kind of go through it a couple times during the week and just move through a few things that need to be done or processed. So this can be a very personalized how you like to do it. But April likes to go all the way through her inbox once a week, and she just completely empties it, and it's pretty efficient.
Right. Okay. So I think it's important just to note that you could definitely adapt this to your own style. But the way that I do it is that I have an inbox here. Eric and I both have an inbox, our own, and I will empty it once a week. And I'm also reviewing these lists that are included below and these resources. So first we have our current projects list. And again, these images, it's for me, for my family, and beyond. That's what those 3 are for. So looking at our current projects list, what are projects you're working on just for yourself, your family, and then maybe work or community, volunteering, that type of thing. You're also going to be looking at your routines and responsibilities list. Again, this is just a quick look, but this is where we're going to have written down things that we do regularly, things that aren't specific calendar tasks, but things like washing the car, or things like sending specific newsletters once a month, or something like that. We're going to just look at our routines list and see how we're doing with those things. Then we're going to have a waiting list. This again is just kind of a piece of paper or a digital list of things that we are waiting for. Then we'll have all of our goals just written out. We'll just look through those, see if there's any goals that we've written down that we would like to really think about more this week or check in and see how we're doing. And then finally, just a read and review resource where we have prepared all the different newsletters, magazines, grocery ads, things that we want to look at, but that aren't really calendar specific. Okay, anything you would add here on the weekly review?
No.
Okay. Then over here, we have the parts of the STEP system that we will engage with as needed. And this is why I think I love this system so much, is because all of the things we're going to describe here that I would usually feel like I kind of had to keep on my mind or be aware of them, you don't have to do that anymore. So first, we're going to have a filing cabinet. This is more of the long-term storage where we're just going to put things that we don't really need to reference often, but that we can go to if we really need it. So things like immunization records or your passport or things like that you'll keep in there. Then we have our support materials. Now these are materials that are supporting either our current projects or our regular routines. So I can have different cubbies set up to support my current projects. If you're teaching a class once a month, you can also have some of those resources in there. Anything that's related to stuff you're working on throughout the week and throughout the month. Now I use cubbies for mine. Eric puts his in a file drawer.
File folders in a drawer. And it's just a great way to kind of have whatever kind of current project materials or other types of categories you might want to have some support materials for. Again, organize it to your liking.
Yeah.
But just make sure it's something where it's kind of clear and accessible, where you can just jump right into a project or jump right into something you're working on right then. You know where things are at. It's not all over the place.
Exactly. And then a tickler file, this is where we're going to have specific pieces of paper or specific information that is related to a calendar specific task. So let's say you have tickets to a concert and they were mailed to you 3 weeks in advance. Well, where do you put them? You put them in a tickler file. Now this can be set up. We'll explain more of that as we're actually building our machines. But this can either be set up where you have 12 folders, one per month. You could have one folder if you don't think you're going to have a lot of stuff like that. And Eric, you have 4 folders, right? Where you do quarterly folders for tickler.
Yep.
Okay. And then these last ones, it's a someday file and an incubation file. Now, a someday file are things that you do want to do at some point, but you can't do them right now. So I have lists in there, like here's the books I want to read, here's vacations I'd like to go on. Sometimes we put little brochures in there, or if you find this awesome museum you'd like to take your family to, you can just put the brochure in there. These are the things that you're just going to look through, and we'll make sure this is on your regular review. But it's a safe place to keep things that you can't act on right now, but you'd like to act on soon. And then you have an incubation file. And I get a lot of questions. People ask, well, what's the difference between someday and incubation? Incubation file contains things that you have not yet decided upon. So if somebody gives you a piece of paper and says, oh, hey, there's this great camp that your family could go to and it's next year and you'd want to sign up sometime, and you're thinking, I don't even know. It's not really a someday because I don't know if I want to do it, but I don't really want to throw it away. Now, Eric says that the incubation file is for people who have a hard time making decisions or who just don't want to throw things away. But he's kind of right. I agree.
I haven't looked in mine for about 1.5 years.
Yeah, mine kind of is a black hole.
And
if I'm going to incubate
it's
it,
like 6 years old. So,
but I have had some occasions where, for example, someone says, "Oh, hey, I'm a piano tuner. Here's my card," and I think I never tune my piano. It sounds fine to me. But I'll just put this in incubation and think about it. And then a friend comes over the next week and they say, oh, hey, do you know of any good piano tuners? And you think, oh, actually, I have this card in my incubation file. Now, that doesn't really happen very often, so I could just throw it away. But
the alternative is to put that in your contacts, put the information, the phone number, and a
Evernote
photo
too.
or an Evernote. then it's searchable by piano tuning, and you don't have
Yes.
to have this piece of paper sitting in a folder. So
Absolutely. Now, I
lots of
just feel
ways to
better
just-
having an incubation folder, but yes,
for people who can't make decisions.
we could get by without it. Okay. So essentially, that is the step system. If you just think about all the things coming into your life on the left, and then you have a few things that you engage with on a daily basis, and then every week you do a weekly review, and these are the things that you're going to check. And then, as needed, you have your files, support materials, and then some other supportive files that you can use to help you through your life. Now, one of the things I will say about all the things under Engage as needed, Eric actually keeps all of those things in his file drawer right next to his desk. So I have mine set up as very separate, distinct pieces of the machine. He just has his tickler kind of near the front of the filing
Yeah,
cabinet.
she literally has hers sitting in our office right now, taking up where I have like 3 shelves of books.
Okay,
She
don't make fun of me.
No, I'm just stating the spatial requirements. Like there are cubbies that take up
Yeah, but I like that.
2 shelves worth of books, and that's that support material stuff. And then up above that, she literally has exactly what she's drawn there. Mm-hmm. And in mine, I have 2 file drawers, and it actually holds pretty much everything in both columns, the weekly and the as needed.
Yeah.
So it really is just what you prefer. I have
Right.
all my current projects in file folders right near the front of that drawer. The someday maybe, the incubation stuff, some of the support materials are kind of further back, but I know where they are. I can get to them right when I need them.
Exactly.
So one last thing I'll just say is on the Engage Daily and Engage Weekly, just to make it so you're very clear that this is not too overwhelming, the Engage Daily is really kind of part of just your daily planning process, right? It literally can be between 5 to 10, maybe 10 to 15 minutes.
Yeah, very
And
quick.
you could do that either at the end of the day, looking over your calendar for tomorrow, looking at your context-based next actions list. I love to call this a choice list. So just be looking, okay, where am I going to be? What are my activities tomorrow? What of these types of context-based list items can I fit into that day? And then your emails to zero, you might be checking emails once or twice a day, and these landing spots once or twice a day. But literally in 15 minutes, you can run through these 4 things and have a handle on everything you need to do that day. Weekly review, that middle column is 1 hour a week.
Yeah, and if
And
you have a
that-
busy week, you can go through that in 15 minutes.
You can move very quickly, but it's very, very doable where it's not going to take much time out of your day, and the time and the effectiveness it gives you back, I don't know, it's a multiple, 4 times, 6 times, 10 times what you get back from that.
Exactly. So we hope that you're as excited about your step system as we are. We're going to provide a shopping list or a collection list of just the resources that you're going to want to have ready before you go ahead and build your Command Central. Really simple. It can all be done basically with file folders and pieces of paper and a few digital resources if you'd like. You can make it more beautiful or more fancy in the future if you want to, or you can really make it look however you want. But the idea is as long as you have these components of the system ready, looking however you like, they're going to help you to truly double your productivity and feel so much relief and peace and feel more excited about your life.
And one last thing before we sign off. Before we go, if he's still living, don't forget to call your dad and tell him that you love him.
And your mom.
Yeah, her too.